Very fun. All right.
Geodeming says test. Waffle Master says test.
What up, dude? Hey! Sheesh!
Squan DW4 says test.
All right. Hello, everybody. I appreciate you guys for being here and joining me today. My hair is a little crazy. Took a nap, so I threw on the old hatsies, like usual. I appreciate you guys for joining me here and hanging out. Oh, geez, I got some real bad flyaways here. Come on, Mike. Put them away. Put them away. All right. Whatever. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me again. Welcome back to the usual scheduled programming today. I appreciate you guys for being here and hanging out with me. Welcome back to the stream. So today we're going to be working on our SpectroSim project. Yesterday we did a lot of leak code, so today we're going to focus back on our project and get some more features done. So yesterday was awesome. We finished a couple leak code problems and also polished up some of the endpoint linkage to our front end, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and get started here. Okay, where are we here? Where are we? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake up this a little bit. I'm going to go... OS capture. I'm going to say this is going to be called VS code. Code. So now I'm going to go like this. Give me 1 second. Remove that. Okay. So I'm going to expand this out. And then I'm gonna bring this. Oh, it depends on my window size. Oh, shoot. So even if I full screen my window here, was hoping to maybe put them side by side, but whatever. It's okay. Okay, let's get into this. All right, let me go. Let's do. We're gonna want to open up a couple of terminals here. CD front end, npm. Oop. Over here. Okay. And then let's go to this terminal. We're on dev, okay. We're gonna go.
You want a chicken quesadilla? Is that what you want?
Yeah. Okay. Can I give me like 5 or so minutes?
Okay.
Then can I have can I put enough in for 2?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like 8?
Yeah. We got some chicken quesadillas coming up. Woohoo! All right, let's keep it rolling here. Let's get set up. Okay, so then we need to go. UV corn main app reload. Oh, but we can't really do that. We want to go CD backend. UV corn main app reload. Okay. Nice. I drag, can I want to know, can I copy this link into a I want to let's go to, hold on, let's see. React full course.
Yeah, what's going on?
And then we go to the comment I was looking for. Control shift P. Simple browser show. So now we can commit these here. Okay. We're running out of real estate. I need a wider monitor here, guys. Need a wider monitor. Need like an ultra wide. For real. That might be my next purchase. But I'll need like an even bigger desk. Oh my god. That'd be crazy. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, here we go. So yesterday we left off on the ability to we linked up our thing here with giving searches. So on successful searches, it links the aspirin and right. So then we can do like things like benzene, right? A colorless liquid with a sweet odor. So we get benzene, right? We can do like sodium. So there's no spectral data. So now we need to, if there's no spectral data found, we need to deal with this. So that's one thing. We need to have the name on an unsuccessful stay as like
Anand says, hey, what's up?
compound. Hey, how's it going? So we have like benzoic acid. There you get it. See, so the name comes up here. Which is cool. Okay, so let's think here. We also need to add a place in the description for the reference to go. Right, to reference what the description was coming from, if it has one. But we can focus on that later. What do we want to work on? I kind of want to get this set up. So let me go to my, let's get out of the compound cache, out of here, out of here, out of here, here.
Anand says, so I quit my job because I wasn't getting much time for myself. It sucks, but back to grinding.
What were you doing before, Anand? You quit. That's a big jump. What caused the, or what are you going to do now? Okay. Where's my thing? Okay. Okay, so let's fix this. The search status. Okay, so plot generation, no. Spectral data source from. This is the search status here, right? Okay, so the search status
Anand
indicator.
says, I was a software developer at a startup. I thought being young gave me an advantage, but the burnout caught up.
Oh, dang, dude. Okay, the search status indicator is right here. So we have margin top. Do we want to fix that margin at all? Is it too much? Might do like 3, 6. Go a little less margin there.
Anand says, I'm looking for a new job now, but for the time being I'll move back with my parents.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that sounds like a good plan. I think you got it under control. So let's create a div here for it
Anand says
actually,
they're
right?
ready to take me back in.
That's good that they're willing to help you out here. Not completely like, you know, on your own or whatever. Okay. So give this a small. Give this an H2 instead. Right, I'm gonna give this to the div, the H2. I'm going to throw this into here, search status, and then I'm going to have this small, and then I'm going to go here, I'm going to say flex row, items, baseline. Gap 2. There we go. I'll say justify if I remove this, what happens? So that goes up by items. Center. Makes them center. Items. Baseline. It drags it all the way down. I think I like baseline better. Okay. Perfect. That looks good. So now let's go ahead. I'm going to give text blue 300. Say text blue 400. Okay, and then I'm going to make it, say, text XL. No. Small.
Tim says good evening, Big Mike.
Hey, how's it going, my guy? Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day so far. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so now we have this set up, right? So now we need to make this search status.
Coach says, is this a personal project or part of a curriculum you're following?
Hey, thank you so much. You want to try them out? Hey, we got some chicken cheese quesadillas here, you guys. Woo!
Tim says congrats on 2,270 Mike. Well on our way to 3,000.
Yes, well on our way to 3K, you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. Let me grab some sauce.
Nat says, YOOO. Nat says it's been a while. Anand says I'm learning Node now. I've bought Joseph Petery's course on Udemy, Understanding Node, Core Concepts, and it is a crazy course. The seemingly simple HTTP part of the course alone is over 9 hours long. Anand says crazy value for money, over 70 hours of content, and it is not even complete yet. 10/10 would recommend.
Running out of space here, you guys. All right. All right. Let's keep it chugging.
Tim says, are those homemade, Mike?
Yeah, my lady just made them up for me.
Nat says chicken or beef.
It's chicken.
Tim says Mike not gonna give us the recipe SMH.
It's literally just a tortilla, shredded cheese, and chicken. I kind of want a baseline. Okay. So now what we'll do is status. So we'll come up here, we'll make a new thing here. So const search status set search status, right?
Joe says, I am taking a quiz on the PCEP Python Essentials 2.
With by default it's NA. Okay. I'm taking a quiz on the nice dude Python Essentials. That's really awesome. How's that going for you?
Making me hungry. You'll hop into the kitchen and see what I can make with bread and some water. And
yeah, nice. Bread and some water. Yeah, we got some quesadillas here, boys. Okay. Okay. So what we'll do is
Tim says, is the economy that bad?
No, we just like to save money out here so we can gamble, right? We gotta have gambling money for the stock market. I need my Apple calls to do well this week, dude. If they don't do well this week, I gotta either make a choice to let them go for a loss or roll them. So we'll have to reevaluate around Wednesday what we do, and I'll make the final call by Friday. This week is our week. We have to make a choice. I need one last little pump here. Yeah. Okay. Python Essentials 2. That's interesting.
Tim says selling all Apple for Nvidia. GG Mike.
Okay. Search states NA. So we're gonna make the status of this compound, or of the text here of this, right? So our search compound, where is it here? We're gonna make this be the JavaScript of search status. Right, so now it's NA by default. So now what we're gonna do is handle compound search. Right, if we catch the error, we're going to go ahead and do set search status
Joe says,
to
I
quote
finished the Python Essentials 1 and when I finish the part 2 I am planning to take the certification exam, but it is $60.
failure. So if I go error here. Okay, so what happens if we go an unsuccessful search for ask first? If we get a successful, now hold on, if we get a successful, right? If we get a successful search, we're going to set compound search status to quote success. So now if we press aspirin search, success. Woo! And then if we get an unsuccessful search, so let me go back to default here, NA. Now let me go do test search. Ah, I got success, dang it. Oh, so no matter what. So try this and then get a response.
Anand says, here is a tip for all the uni students. Get the GitHub Student Developer Pack free of cost using your uni email and you can take the MonGOT official certification exam worth $100 for free. Tim says, has paying $60 for a certification actually ever helped anyone? Genuinely curious.
Probably not. Okay, so we printed aspirin, and then error 404 not found. Compound test. Console log. So let me go to my console here. Invalid compound name test. So I'm getting the error in the catch. So I should probably do this in the try, and if I catch any errors. But what does, so this is compound data. Failure, load with status, 404 not found. So it can't log this. So if this is, so now what happens if I go console.log
Anand says,
data
"They
here?
expire after some time, so you have to take them again after some years, but are mandatory for some jobs. They don't help you, but definitely put you a cut above the rest. It's like a badge."
So what if I say console.log here? Compound data, and then run this. So this is the log of an unsuccessful search status. So let me refresh. Let me type in test here. Okay, so not found. I think this is this guy here. And we log here. So I'm gonna say poop.
Joe says, "In my country, what matters is not what you know. What matters is who can vouch for you. So being certified does help a lot."
Oh, so this is the data. So invalid. So that's the response. So if the response is 404, okay. If not data, or if data, right, then we're going to, then we'll do this and say successful search, right? Right. Else we caught this error and we console logged the error. So now what happens if I go bro, I know that's not what that looks like. Why is it doing that? Okay, so if I go test here and search, I can still get the success message. So we get so we still get a response no matter what. Okay. So how can we say how to check if a 404 or if a response if response dot, okay, so if so we'll say this then. We'll say instead of this, we'll say if response dot status So hold on one second. I want to see. I'm going to take just this chunk here. I'm going to go here. Oop. I'm going to open up my chat. I'm going to say, this is my current JavaScript function for updating page info loaded from the response. I want to check if the response is valid, and if so, then populate the... What are you doing? What are you doing? Populate the page info, not the status. Here. Okay, let's compare this to ours. I want to learn here. So we get the response. If the response is okay, no, if not response okay. And then get data off of the response. I think that's a little bit too... So if we get a response, and I say, if response dot okay, then we're going to do this. Right? Else, we're going to so let's try this. This is all within the try. So if I go test and search status NA, aspirin search success, test NA. So let's say else. Set search status. Else set compound name, quote, say compound. Here we'll say, or we're going to say compound. Yeah, so null. This is going to be name, description, failure. There we go.
Syrup says, could you tell me your cover displaying subscribers count? That is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's just a web thing from OBS, and then you just give the URL for your sub count that YouTube gives you. And then you just add some CSS to it with some endpoint, with some animation, and then just some keyframes to change the color. It's really simple. It's only like 10 lines. Okay. So I'm gonna give it this. I'm gonna see how it likes this. Here, no.
Syrup says, thanks, bro.
This did the trick. How does this look? Yours was a little too overkill. Fix the one at the top. It looks like a typo. Oh yeah. Optional minor improvement, but overall this looks clean. Okay. So then, how could I get the set search status to have the error message from the response? Else, so you get data in response.json no matter what. So let's take this out, move this out front. So no matter what, we're gonna get JSON data here to extract out the response. So be data dot detail. So here it'd be data dot detail. So now if I test this, invalid component name equals test. But if I say aspirin, search, I get success. So then let me go ahead and go to my error messages that are thrown on my web scrape. We want to then say invalid compound name, because just throw a key error. We'll say here we're going to say I will say error I will say so if they're able to get so okay, so if the compound name doesn't exist, so invalid compound name or compound doesn't exist, we'll say. Error compound does not exist. Right, so if we do test here and search, we get error compound does not exist. Or compound invalid, rather. Right? So go test error compound invalid. Okay, so then what we can do is we can say get a response, get data.
Reddit Central says this is low-key chill.
Hey, how's it going, Reddit Central? Thanks for joining me here. Yeah, if you guys are new, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you guys following along. My name's Michael. I'm 26 years old. I got a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make biological controls. I'm not really feeling this hat, you guys. It's making my hair fluff out. Back to the basics.
I scored 72 in the quiz.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's much better. Back to the basics. Back to what we know best. I need to reshape that hat back with like a pan or something. 72 on the quiz. Put some questions that you missed in the chat and we can go over them and hopefully maybe we can talk about them and maybe I want to try some of them too. Put a question that you got wrong in and we'll give it a go.
Blue says, great content. I'm about to do my MS in CS.
Nice, dude. Masters, where are you gonna get that at, Blue? I've been thinking about maybe going back. Tim will take the hat. Tim loves that hat. I know. Next time I gotta source you a hat, Tim. If I come across a vintage one that I think you'll like, I'll source it and I'll have Birdie Rose Clothes get it for you. All right, because we are employed by them, right? We're a contractor. We get some hookups. Yeah, I've been thinking about going back from my master's and maybe CS2. Where are you getting that at, Blue?
Tim says he'll recruit you might pull up to the PhD.
PhD, that might be a little bit too crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to say here for this error, right? Except value is E here.
Blue says, my undergrad in information systems and my option is CS, so I've done Java classes, but the market is so fried I can't get any internships, so I'm doing my MS at Georgia Tech or UT Austin.
Oh, gotcha.
Blue says, how did you learn Python? Did you take classes for it?
Yeah, I took Harvard CS50P and read Python crash course. Been reading data structures and algorithms in Python. We've been reading Fluent Python, and we've been also reading Python machine learning. So hold on, let me see here. We got attracted compound. So found compound, we get the name of the found compound. Missing compound detail. not name, missing compound. Detail. Okay, so that's not the error we're looking for. We catch. Okay, let's just see here. So then if I say, let's type in something we know that doesn't have data though, methylene blue, that is a compound. If I say search, error, no UV vis data found for methylene blue. Okay, that's good. We set that up appropriately then. So let me go back to my web scraper and get that error here. And then instead we'll just make a comma. And I'm gonna get rid of that. So then if I say, let's say like sodium chloride from our API call, error, no UV vis data for sodium chloride.
Joe says, first question I got wrong. When a module is imported, its contents.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Is it fill in the blank? Okay. So we're gonna say, how can I have this?
Tim says short answer brutal.
Rather than setting the name back to name, can it write to its use state default? So you just have to have a variable, okay. So then we'll make we'll have a function here, or some variables, default var values. So this will be const const default compound name equals to a string here of, we'll say,
Joe says 2 may be executed explicitly was the wrong answer.
now you have to reference using dot notation the package itself, the module. So module dot. So if you say import import numpy or whatever, you'd have to say numpy dot and reference the method that's inside of numpy, unless you import numpy that module, that function directly out of numpy. So you say from numpy import import these select few functions out of that package, then you can extract those, but you need to reference it with dot notation, the method that's used. Or you could say from numpy import star to by default import every method or every whatever object that's in that package. But then you might have some naming conflicts with your own methods and stuff, if there are any that you don't know about. So you have to be careful with that. So const default compound name equals compound name. We'll say const default compound description equals to compound, say please, so say please search. We'll say search a compound. I'll just say an A, I guess. I don't know. What should I have the defaults be? So maybe I'll just have this be the default value. Right, I'll have this will be default value. What? And this will also be the default value. Okay, so then if we make we're gonna need to go here and open up some more of these things. I'm gonna move this one up front here. So we're gonna bring this down. This is gonna be set compound ID. Right? This is going to be set compound wavelength. Right, set compound wavelength. We're going to bring this down, we're going to call this set compound epsilon.
Tim says, when are you planning to launch the site, Mike?
Well, I don't know. We'll get the features actually working, and then once I get like a working search and going and plot generation, then I'll go ahead and push it up, even if it's not 100% done. And then we can just keep adding things like finish up the home page, the about page. But once we get a working simulator page going, then I think it's okay for then at least to get some product pushed, right? You know what they say? I always say is just push product and push it fast. So push fast and push product and push often. So we'll get it pushed up, and then we'll see what happens from there. Ooh, the gapping here is bad. What happened there? I need to fix that. That's too much gap. That's not enough gap. Okay, so then we have set wavelength, compound ID. So we have set compound name here, which is going to be the default value. So now we can fill these into our things here, right? So here we go, right here. So here we're going to put in for this is going to be the CID. This is going to be compound ID. Okay. Then this run here is going to be compound. This is which one? Compound. Okay, so the comp name. Right? This one's going to be comp wavelength. And then this one's going to be comp epsilon. Right? So now those are all filled in. So now what we can do here is on a successful search, it's going to be pretty simple here, is we can set, so right off the jump, we'll say if response okay, then we're going to set the search compound as success. And then we're going to extract out that data from there, or the compound information, set the compound, set the name, set the description. We're going to call set compound ID. and we're going to take this as compound data dot CCID. So if I go aspirin here and I search, no, blank, nobody's gonna find me. CID. There it goes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yes, leave a like for that, boys. We got it. All right, now it's populating the CID from our response that we got back from our package response from our database. And now we can just, man, React makes it really easy once you get it all. It might take a little bit to get it set up, but once you get these setter functions set up, then it's really easy just to place them where you want to update things. So now you can do set, this is gonna be comp wavelength to here as wavelength. So now if I search this, nope, is it wavelength? Nope. Let's see, compound here, we're getting lambda max. So I'll change this then, instead of wavelength, this will be set compound lambda. Or I'll just say, I'll keep wavelength, that's okay, even though we're kind of changing names and stuff, which isn't really that best practice in I think, but it's okay. So we're going to set to lambda max. So now if I search this, we get lambda max, and then here we have epsilon, right? So set comp epsilon, and then this is going to be epsilon. So now if we set this, boom, there it goes. Now look, you guys, if we type in benzene, it'll populate all of its information here. Oh! Woo! If we type in, if we did a failure, if we go test, search, error, compound invalid. That looks awesome. I'm gonna take this back to 300. I'm gonna make this text cyan. 300. 400. So now what we're going to do though is we're going to set an updater function for this color as well. So on this, so I need to look up use effect. Is this for updating the styling? Like, hold on, not here. Here, that's where I have it open. So is the use effect for updating the styling of the page? Isn't you guys can update styling? So if I want to change the style of my, or the color of my status message on a failure or success, then, or default, then how can I do this? If search status starts with success, return green. Get status class. Huh, okay, so you can make a function.
Michael says I didn't know that React can be used in Python projects.
Yeah, we're using React as our back end, and as our front end is our React Tailwind. Okay, so let's see here. Let's write this function then. Const get status class equals to a function here, right? So set search status. If search status starts with okay, so if search status dot starts with success, right? You're going to return quote text green 600. Okay, and then we can copy this. If it starts with error, return text red 600. So then here we can just return the default text color, which is of the searched indicator, cyan 400. Okay, so then in the actual portion of here, for this thing here, we say here in the class name, we type backtick, or no, all this is a backtick. We say get status class, like such. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so now it's cyan by default. Aspirin. Oh, let's go. And then if I say test, error. Let's go. So now let's taper these down a little bit. 400. 400. Nice. Now I go aspirin, success. Let me go 300. Let me make it a little softer. Oh, yeah, I like that a little bit softer. Just 300. Nice. Oh, that looks so good. Let's type in like methylene blue. Error, no UV vis data found. Error. No UV vis data found. There we go.
Myrtle says I think you should not render the details of the compound if compound is invalid. I mean the section with name, description, etc.
Yeah, we could hide the whole page, right? We could hide that whole section if it fails rather than rendering out the compounds itself. That's also a very valid option as well. So by default, this is name. What is name?
Kadexug says hello, bro.
How's it going, dude? Welcome back in. So why does this say name? Where am I doing that at? Here. We need to do back to default, so default value. Okay, so now if we type in methylene blue, we get Na for all of those.
Myrtle says you can render some illustration like not found or something if status is error.
Yeah, we could just render some individual like picture, yeah, exactly, rather than this
Kadexug says
this whole
some sound
return.
PLC.
Right, so here is our compound search plot div right here, this whole section right here. So we could just not render this part and render something else. We have it set up like it. It's all sectioned off, so yeah, it would be pretty easy to just hide this on a failed search. So let me also, while I have it up here, let me fix this gap here between these items. So the compound search there, we have a search input here on a form and the search button. So I think I need to apply this class name to the form rather, and then I can delete this div because the div is serving as the form is serving as a div in itself basically. Right. Yeah. It was over the form, the inner form was overriding our outside details. Now we do have some styling issues here we need to fix with our search status indicator here. So our search status indicator here, we have text of 15, flex row.
Myrtle says you can make it a separate component and conditionally render it using ternary operator. It'd definitely look cool, I think.
So error, no UV vis data found from the search status. So how can I have this Oh, we need to have a flex wrap here, right? So these will wrap it there we go. Nice. That looks good. Now I think I want to have a little bit more spacing on the top of this guy here. So that comes from right here. So I'm going to do a comment here. I'm going to say this is the PubChem reference. Right now I'm giving this so it's just his own paragraph tag, the style onto it. So why am I doing that? Let me wrap this in a div then, open this up, take this paragraph tag, copy it out, put this in the div, right? Paragraph with an anchor inside. We'll take out this, I'll do class name equals to, I'll do text. Right, and then we can remove this style tag altogether. So then actually I'll take this as well. Sit here.
Gifted says,
Remove
I stopped
this.
coding after getting laid off from work nearly 2 years ago. My old boss told to save myself and learn a new things because coding will be AI generated. Now I work at Dave & Buster's.
Nice, dude. How's that going for you? So the compound search here, we have a margin bottom of 3. Then we have the form here, which is this guy. And I'm going to give a margin bottom of 3 here as well. There we go. So that pushed that down. And so then this div has a margin top of 1. So I'm going to remove.
Gifted says, I hate it but I'm 40, I don't know what to do.
Well, as long, I mean, well, you know how to code still, so I think, I don't know, why would you let someone kill your dreams like that? If you did you enjoy coding and liked it? And, don't let people, you know, their words really, I get told that I waste my time learning calculus and doing this a lot, but I've proven to be able to build some pretty cool projects, with SpectroSim, ChromaPlot, in this short period of time. I've proven, we're going to try to integrate our calculus work into Python and into some more projects. So, there's always going to be people that are going to put you down, but you really you can't let them, you know, deter you like that, in my opinion. Okay. So then I have the search status here.
Tim says just show them the bag mic.
I don't have no bag. What do you mean? It's all in stocks. Can't touch a bag till I'm like 59. Okay, search status. No, that looks terrible. What happened there? There we go. So then the PubChem reference, this has a margin bottom of 3.
Tim says gonna withdraw my entire bank account just to flex.
Compound search section. What do I just say? Flex column, and I give these all an even gap.
Gifted says what are bullying?
Oh, this is the compound search. I do have a gap. But this is for the...
Gifted
Right.
says, what are you building over there?
Margin bottom 8. On the search status indicator, margin top is 4. So I'll make this 3. Now it's going to be even. There we go. Margin bottom 8. Let's make this 6 rather. Or 9. I like 9. I think 9 would be better. There we go. Now we make the compound. Got margin bottom here. So then the nav. What does the nav have on it? The nav has... Where'd you go? To the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, how's that? Did you take Sky with you?
No.
Prism says, hey Michael, after long time.
Hey Prism, how's it going, dude? Welcome back in. If you guys are here, leave a like on the stream and leave a sub if you guys are new. I have a Discord link down below or in my profile of my Twitch where you can get access to every one of my resources I've used. So if you want to follow a similar path to me, you know, with my learning journey, I have it outlined for you guys all in my programmers Discord here, from community resources that you guys provide, which you guys have given a lot here, to open source projects. For my own projects, I've converted to open source, Python books, web dev courses that I've taken, API information that I have obtained, individual courses for CS50, CS50X and P, Pro Git that we've read for version control. We're taking calculus right now for math, and then a project
Jim
showcase
says
for
sub
everybody. So make sure you guys sub along if you guys are new here, and join the Discord so you get access to a lot of our resources. Okay, so we are getting we are getting this information. It looks good now. So we just want to go to our nav and see the margin on the bottom. Padding on the bottom, 15. So if I remove this, okay, so we're gonna do margin bottom of 9 here. No, we're gonna do margin bottom of 18. What about 27? There we go. That looks a bit better. So my plan is to have also I'm gonna make this gap a little bit wider here. So this is gonna be like, you know, maybe like 45, right? Maybe enlarge like 54. And then I'm gonna have a logo here for AbsorbSim, right? So we have SpectroSim, but then we're gonna have AbsorbSim, which is like the simulator within this overarching parent, company or whatever. So you have SpectroSim, and then you have AbsorbSim, which is just a simulator that is a part of SpectroSim. So, and then we can, which is absorption spectroscopy. So then we can do other types of spectroscopy simulators and make those their own pages under kind of a similar format. And yeah, it'll be pretty cool. So my goal is I'll make a cool little kind of like ASCII art logo, or kind of like just kind of a black and just a logo here, and then with like, so AbsorbSim as like a title, and then you can have the compound search. But for now, I'll just lower this back down to 27 just to keep the spacing on the nav. Okay, this looks really good so far. Okay, so we've got successful aspirin. We can search and get successful searches. Let me go ahead and do this really quick. AbsorbSim, the state of success. We're going to put that to there like that. But hold on, I wonder why I get error.message. So if I comment out this and I do a failed search, do I still get the error? No. So this error isn't updating. So 404 not found. Error compound invalid. So I'm going to take this really quick. I'm going to say I have the comment where data.detail is changing the message, the status for a failure. But I tried it in the catch statement and it doesn't work there. Why? Great catch. This is a subtle but important point in fetch and try / catch logic. Why data.detail works in the else block. When response OK is false, the fetch did not throw any error, but the server returned a valid HTTP error response 404. Often with a JSON body like detail compound not found, you can read the body and await the response with JSON and access it directly in the detail. Why it doesn't work in the catch. The network fails, servers down, course as you know, internet. So the catch only runs if the server's down. So, okay, if there is no able to get a response. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. See, that's kind of how I use the AI, guys. Just like ask it questions like you would to your professor or TA, like, and use it in that such, like, to learn from and gain, corrective knowledge about on my current attempts. Okay, so now we get invalid compound. If I say
Zaid says hi, bro.
blue, I get error UV vis data not found. No UV vis data for methylene blue. And if I do a successful search of caffeine, success. Caffeine appears odorless. And then we get these put it right here, which looks really cool. All right, now we're ready to generate plots. So we've gotten all the data actually loaded up to our front end from our back end. We are actually we're projecting it and overwriting the default values of the page with those data values from that kind of response package object. And now we're actually able to, now we're going to copy over basically our functions here from our, what's it called here? Our class here. Compound.py. So we have these two functions here, Gaussian distribution and then generate absorption here. So what this does is given a set number of wavelengths or X value points, it generates kind of a skewed Gaussian distribution value to then factor against an absorption in Beer's law. So this will give you an epsilon kind of tailored to that specific X value point. And then you can use that value to generate a Y value point, and then plot the two together to have that kind of bell curve over a max absorption lambda on the x-axis that is generated over this, right? You have the self lambda here. So as you approach this lambda, this x value, you gain more and more height into your y's, right? And so that's what it does. So I think what these x values do is instead of having it be kind of set in constant values, it factors them into kind of more of a distributed range where you have more concentrated values towards the middle or the normal portion of the curve, and then you have more distinct or like separated values off to the tails. So what that might look, I'm just kind of brainstorming my ideas of what I think is going on. So let me know if this is not correct. Oh, what is going on here? right? So what I think you have X values that are set at constant increments originally, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But what this does is when you factor into the epsilon generation, it will kind of take these values and like condense them so that you can get a bell curve, I believe. So that you have more values that are condensed within this range to give you a lot more fine-tuned data points than these ones kind of scale outward and are more distant, right? And so then that basically means then you're plotting towards the y value. You're generating the y values off of these factored these Gaussian distributed x values is my understanding. Let's prompt the AI and ask, when using x values to factor in a Gaussian distribution, are we concentrating x points towards the normal middle of the curve? Yes, when using x values to factor in Gaussian normal distribution, we typically concentrate x values around the mean, which is the middle. Exactly. How's it going? Never seen you before, just saw the live and joined. Nice one, man. Awesome. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you, and thanks for following along. Yeah, we're building this project, and it's going really nice so far. We have successful searches for compounds like benzoic acid. Success. We can do like caffeine. We get caffeine. We can do aspirin. Get aspirin. Woohoo! Nice. That looks awesome. And then all of these are being loaded into our cache here. Haha! Now if I do like sodium chloride, error, no UV vis data found. And so we had oh, we need to fix that. Okay, so hold on, let's just fix that before we kind of wrap it for today. So this is default value on the else for search status. So we need to do default values for these guys as well. ID, this one's here. We're gonna copy these guys, bring them down here, and set this to default value. Right, okay, so on a successful search of caffeine or of aspirin, right, you get the populated, then on a fail, error, no UV vis data found, sodium. Right, no UV vis data found. Nice. Hey Austin, how's it going, dude? Welcome back in. I appreciate you so much for being here. Did my chat stop working? No, it's working, but it's lagged behind a lot. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and push this up here. Added fills for added compound data response population and status message updates and styles. Big commit here. All right, sweet. That was a big chunk of our project move forward here. We were able to successfully, obviously, link together our searches, write a function to convert or update our status depending on successful or failed searches right here, right? Just work that into our handle compound search function. We just made this else statement if the response is not okay, right? Where we set all these values to the defaults, and then we set the search status to the detail of the data that was unsuccessfully that's the response that was failed. Um, and then on successful searches, we populate not only the name, the description, but also the individual spectral data information pieces from that response object that was given back to us. And then we also style the message accordingly, and we also fix some margin and spacing across the entire page as a whole. So one last example to show you guys is if we refresh the page from the start. I'll make this large. Right, this is what it looks like large. So this is just a dummy plot. Next up tomorrow is we're going to actually generate the plots. I've already done it with Python, but now instead I'm going to be using Plotly.js to render plots on the front end so that they're more interactive by the user on the front end rather than just being static images or image files, right? So when we were rendering plots with Python last time, we were just serving images back from our server to our front end, and that kind of just A, was less interactive, B, was going to be slower because we're sending larger packages or larger, what are they called? Yeah, packages or whatever over the internet. And then two, we are having to, re-render those packages on the front end or whatnot. So instead of doing that, we're just going to be sending the data information, just the small data JSON dictionaries, but through the server, so that will be a lot faster. And then we'll plot them live with Plotly.js and override this current plot image or plot object with Plotly. And so, which is really nice. So just to show you guys what we worked on today is if we have a unsuccessful test, so if we do a test, which, there isn't a compound called test in the database, right? We get error compound invalid. So this compound was not found. And then these remain NA, 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 NA as default values. We can still go here to our PubChem page with the space, but we just kind of fix the spacing and stuff. I'll probably make this underlined. I kind of think that would be cool to have this one be underlined. But then if we give a successful search like aspirin, boom, search status is successful, and then this populates as aspirin. We get the description that was given that we used from our web scraper to actually scrape the description from that response of our from the API, and then we populate those groups that we also scraped using regular expression for the CID, aspirin, lambda max or wavelength, and the epsilon max of this individual compound. And so everything works accordingly with auto sizing, resizing here, which looks really nice. It's a little bit kind of not as smooth because of Plotly, but it'll do. Right, that's the only thing I'd probably have against it. And then on failed, right, searches for things that don't have actually UV data but are compounds, we get a search, right, error, no UV vis data found, and then these re-change back to their default values. Woo! Really cool. So super excited about the project so far and the progress we've made on it. I'm going to be pushing this up soon. We just have to finish this plot generation. Then I think we're ready to get it pushed up. And then obviously we need to link these buttons and get them working as well. So when you press this button, it'll generate the plot. We'll just have kind of like a static default kind of image here just to say, hey, like hit the button to generate. We won't use the processing power if we don't need to on the front end. So it'll just, you can search up the successful compound like caffeine, right? You get the success, it populates all the information on the front end, and then you can hit the button to generate and reload the compound here. Awesome, started learning Python 2 days ago. That sounds really sweet, dude. Join my Discord where I have a roadmap of my entire Python learning journey so far, which we are now merging into more full stack and building some really cool projects. Really nice, dude. Thanks so much for joining in here and following along. I stream every single day around 7 p.m. PST. I know this one was a little bit shorter. I usually try to stream for around 2.5 hours minimum. or 2 to 2.5 hours. But my lady friend likes to my girlfriend visits me on the weekends, so I'm gonna spend some time with her this evening. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll potentially maybe come on for a part two later this evening. If I have some time and I'm not too tired after my lady friend maybe goes to sleep. But we're going to watch a show here. We got a good chunk of the project to work on. If you guys are just showing up, make sure to just go back about 5 minutes and just go through my overview about what we finished today. It was a really, really productive day. We got a lot of features actually kind of polished up. A lot of kind of our front end is now coming together. Everything's kind of now really starting to piece together to actually getting a working kind of product going, which is really nice. A lot of this, like these past streams, were more just kind of prep work, back end work, building functions, doing the parsing, doing the web scrape, doing the API call, like getting all of that set up so that we can, when we actually, and getting the front end styled, so then when we can actually link it all together, it's quite a big ordeal. You have to not only style an entire web page with React and stuff, but also do all the back end fetching, response, and then link them together and make sure everything's fluid, and then have a hosting. It's really quite a lot. So little by little, day by day, we're building this. We've been doing this one for about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks now. So we've got a lot of good progress on it so far. But we got a lot of ways to go. So we still need a home page, an about page, and then obviously we just need to finish up this AbsorbSim page. And then not only do we have plot generation from an API call, I also do want to have a section below for custom plot generation, just by where you can put in your own lambda, epsilon, and compound name, and then you can generate a plot custom based off of your own data information rather than relying only on what was in the database. So if you want to mess around with your own numbers and generate plots that way, you can do that using this same AbsorbSim algorithm. So that's going to be another piece down below here that will be for custom plot generation, on where you can scroll down and make your own, apart from just generating from the database. So if you guys are interested in seeing me build that, make sure you guys join me over the course of the next few days. We're going to be building this nonstop. So thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Michael. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make and formulate like in vitro diagnostic medical devices that are used for diagnosing patients, mainly like bulk solutions of kind of analytical or highly precise analytical ranges. And I kind of formulate like matrices based on these solutions and stuff. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, where I'll continue my learning of Python, front end, React, and computer science and the like. And we do need to continue on with our math learning journey of for calculus, right? So we need to keep going on. We were taking the Khan Academy Calculus 1 class. The last time we took Calculus 1 was back when I was a freshman in college in 2018, 2019. So I definitely have been needing a refresher, and I want to use calculus to actually integrate it into calculus or into Python and programming. I want to get into more like finance related data information, kind of more algorithm based modeling for potential financial models, and back testing some potential like trading bots would be really cool to maybe just start playing around with after we get done with this project. So awesome that you're a med student. Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you. I'm about to head out here, so if you guys are just jumping in here, go ahead and rewind back about 5 minutes, where I displayed what we've kind of finished today and gave a little overview about myself. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. I stream every single day around 7 p.m. PST after my job as a chemist.